Okay, I'm playing as, I believe, the 7th German Panzer Grenadier, or Panzer Division. I'm not sure. I have to look. Um, but yeah. This is my teammate on the side over here trying to get control of the left flank. I'm here in the center trying to push right of mid, teammate here, and then over here. So I guess this would look better without being able to see the enemy's position for the first part, just so you can see what I see.
Achtung! Feind in Sicht! Wurde aufgeklärt!
So right now I've got my scouts out so I can kind of see what the movement, what's going on here. Got my AFVs coming in to get some forward security.
Feind aufgeklärt. Erwarten Befehle.
And shout out to my teammate over here. He did a great job with just saw that name. He did a great job with artillery support.
Gib mir Morphium! Gib mir Morphium!
I also brought in some T-55s to help out on the flanks here with just in case you're dealing with an opponent that tries to press with infantry. Have a little bit of combined arms going on with the tank and infantry in the city.
Sanitäter!
This tow missile is going to be pretty problematic, but that'll get taken care of.
Achtung! Feind im Nahbereich!
My teammate did a good job of coordinating with me, so I would mark a spot and see if I can get some arty on certain positions here. Then I also brought in the Hind for force multiplier.
Achtung! Feind in Sicht! Der ist hinüber.
Well, one thing's for sure is I know that I want to get control of this forest over here, just to take away any chance of the enemy getting recon over here and massing infantry or any kind of vehicles. You don't want to have a hole in your flank like that, especially when we have this part under control. So my goal is to take this later in the match.
Feinde direkt vor eigener Stellung.
Also got my Strelas in a little bit ahead of my SAMs here, just in case they get any kind of helicopter threat coming in. They can be the first ones to react. You don't want to have your SAMs on the front line. You want to have them sitting back as a second line of defense. And I noticed there's not much activity over here as far as I can tell, so I send one of my squads just to secure this house. So if any kind of transport enemy units come in here, they can act as a bit of a funnel.
Feind gesichtet.
Warning.
My recon here, I can kind of see it. They're trying to mass some troops in the town, and they're trying to push out over here.
Кажется, это не наши.
Good shot.
на горизонте! Wir haben was abbekommen! Verdammt, wir gehen hier drauf!
Lose that Hind. You can see I'm starting to get my units pushed up over here so we can press into this forest area. Because you can see he's trying to move his troops in this direction here, and that's what you want to stop.
Ich diene der Deutschen Demokratischen Republik.
we're losing at the
Feind
moment.
nähert sich
It's
Feuerposition
nothing to
der
worry
Artillerie.
about.
Warning.
Just don't even pay any attention to that. It's what happens in the late game that matters. Keeping his recon at bay.
Unaufgeklärt!
Враг в поле зрения.
So I noticed that it's kind of barren over here, a little empty. I'm not getting much resistance or
Der ist
seeing a
hinüber.
push. So my goal is to slowly but surely move out and press over here in this area, and hopefully get some more units over there.
Bereit zur Rekognoszierung, Genosse. Wir haben Verluste!
Achtung! Feind im Nahbereich! Voll erwischt!
Bunker, fordern Sie neue Munition an!
Feind nähert sich Feuerposition der Artillerie.
But one thing that you really want to do a lot of, or that I do personally,
Gib mir
is I
Morphium!
don't send out a
Gib
lot
mir
of units
Morphium!
to assault an area. I'll send out maybe 2 just to probe and see what the enemy strength is in a certain area before I attack.
Враг в
And
поле зрения.
this helped out a lot, especially with my teammate, because I was able to probe with my units, find out where the enemies were, and either get assistance with artillery to soften them up and then push, or do a bit of combined arms with my hind here and send it in to support my troops. So, you know, using it as a force multiplier like you should.
Feind im Vorfeld, bereit machen.
Gib mir Morphium! Gib mir Morphium!
As you can see now, I'm coordinating with my teammate. He sees what I want him to do, and
Angriffssalve erfolgreich.
Feinde
Feinde
vernichtet.
vernichtet. Neue Aufträge? Kommen. Jede Menge Rauch und Feuer. Wirkung im Ziel.
battle line is pretty much looking like this right now. Just coming around here and in here.
Es hat Uli erwischt!
So now as I start pushing my troops a little bit more forward, and I held these guys in reserve just to see what the enemy strength was like. Now I just start to probe and send out some more force recon to see what's going on in this forest.
Движение на горизонте!
Teammate did a great job with mutual support. I was able to see, I don't know if you saw it, but I was able to see that he was pushing some light vehicles in here, so I'm assuming he was trying to reinforce this area. So I got the attention of my teammate, telling him to just saturate this area before I push in deeper.
Feind im Vorfeld, bereit machen.
You just have to really be able to multitask when it comes to strategy games like this, or WARNO, or because you really have to keep an eye on your front, all your fronts. Even though this is one sector of the map, I've kind of divided this up into 3 fronts. I have over here on the left, my fixed point right here in the center, and then my flank on
Обнаружен
the right.
противник. Приготовиться к бою.
that area is softened up,
Обнаружен
what I'll do is
противник.
instead of
Приготовиться к
sending
бою.
all my units forward and bunching them up, I'm going to send this vehicle out to scout and just see if it encounters any kind of enemy resistance here. And then I mark this because I saw that a tow came from this area, and I'm going to try and get my teammate to saturate that, push him out of the
Враг
buildings
близко.
there.
Защищайте орудие.
Now, and it may not seem like much, but taking control of this forest was a big deal. Like I say, you know, war is like a battle of inches almost. Because now we've successfully denied them access to this flank here to build mass forces to push, and giving us 2 points of attack to worry about. Now that we take this, all we have to do is worry about this one fixed point right here. So I guess when I edit this, I'll kind of put some drawings on here to make this a little bit clearer. But now, if we can take this side and hold this, we can get a good bit of a pincer coming in from here and from here. You can kind of see how that pincer would form if we take here and we come in from here. Now the enemy has to worry about attacking from 2 fronts instead of just a fixed point in the center. I recognize this weakness, I see what's going on, so I start putting in some troops over here to get ready to push into the city from the flank, because they're more so focused on the forest, as you can see.
Обнаружен противник. Приготовиться к бою.
And now that I see that we're making some forward progression here in the forest, I want to try and put some Strellas, some anti-air in the forest, so that way we can deny this airspace. So I have my SAM net back here to deny this halfway point, but to prevent the enemy from bringing in more air units,
Я броня. Цель
you want to
обнаружена.
move your net, your anti-air net, up with your troops in support. So that's why I have the Strellas here. I got the mortars coming in to support, push them out.
Я броня. Цель обнаружена.
I don't know if there was only 1 guy on this side or 2, but they really should have pushed through here because they kind of just gave up this flank way too easily. I'm gonna try and press this Abrams in my 2 BMPs. Not the best situation, but I'm hoping maybe I can get in a side shot with one of the 2.
Der ging fast durch. Wir haben keine Munition mehr.
I'm gonna smoke him out and make him retreat and come back. At this point, we've gotten control of this forest. My next job would be to get some, as he saturates his area,
Я броня. Цель обнаружена.
would be to get some recon over here to get some better eyes and see what we're working with.
Niemals ausgefallen.
Yeah.
Обнаружен противник. Приготовиться к бою.
Now he really wants that forest. He's trying to send some more units in. And I'm gonna just keep saturating this area to keep him from pushing into the forest. So my teammate did a great job of that, just keeping them under pressure there.
Враг близко. Защищайте орудие.
But me and this guy did a really good job on the right side, pushing him out. Our other side kind of struggled a little bit in the middle here, which I don't blame him for, because this is the hardest side to push, especially if you don't get across the bridge. So I can get that.
Вижу контакт.
Yeah, this side's pretty tough, but it looks like he's doing pretty good. This is going to be more of an infantry area. You know, you see a lot of city, a lot of forest. Tanks aren't going to do too good over here, so you'd have to kind of think about your deployment.
Обнаружен противник. Приготовиться к бою.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty good control over this forest now, so not too much to worry about. I pushed up some T-55s to kind of have some mutual support for the infantry, just in case they get pushed here. We got them hidden in the forest.
Feind aufgeklärt. Erwarten Befehle.
Ultimately, this was kind of
Впереди противник. Нам поворачивать?
steamroll on the right. We captured that supply truck. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show where the enemy is. I'll probably switch between my side and his side just so you can see how this encirclement kind of works out and progresses.
Движение на горизонте!
Given that the Abrams is the better tank in this situation against T-55s, you want to work in pairs. So what I'll do is I'll send out one T-55 to get a shot off, smoke him off, reverse him, and then send in the second
Враг в
T-55
поле зрения.
and just kind of overpower this Abrams.
Sanitäter!
Verdammt, wir gehen hier drauf.
A good job of
Движение на
attacking the
горизонте!
Heinz. There we go.
Der geht fast durch!
Feind aufgeklärt. Erwarten Befehle.
Really want to take this guy out.
Feindkontakt.
My
Waffen scharf.
See how that worked?
Verdammt, wir gehen hier
So
drauf.
mutual support is so key. Thanks to that Hind getting that stun in, this Abrams has to retreat. That allows my T-55s to press.
Враг в поле зрения.
And this is what I would consider a breakthrough.
Agent, Zielzerstörung!
I've gotten that Abrams to back off. I know he probably has soft targets in this village here, in this town here. And this would essentially be a small breakthrough in this corridor that I could exploit to get some more
Feind
units through.
aufgeklärt. Erwarten Befehle.
Now we're starting to see it's just soft targets here. And when I recognized this, I told my teammate we need to start pushing and pressing, and then he came in and kind of assisted me a little bit in the end.
Und getroffen! E-Mails ausgefallen!
These Abrams are going to try and push, but I have these T-55s in the forest here just to cut it off,
Agent, Zielzerstörung!
because I
Agent!
knew this would happen.
Gib mir Morphium! Gib mir Morphium! Agent, Zielzerstörung!
Abrams.
Ende!
These Abrams cost a lot more.
Обнаружен противник. Приготовиться к бою. Вижу контакт.
Yep.
Und noch
But
eine
now when he
Leiche.
tries to push the infantry, I have my infantry reinforced with my T-55s. So just using these units as just force multipliers here, in case they get overrun by a better unit.
Враг в поле зрения.
Ah, es hat mich erwischt! Verdammt! Es hat mich erwischt!
So it's all about mutual support, especially when it comes to infantry, because sometimes they'll have engineers that are going to overpower you, and you just want to open up lines of fire to
Hier
kind of
Bombe ein! Feindjagd!
crossfire enemy units.
Вижу контакт.
Gib mir Morphium! Gib mir Morphium!
sind ganz Ohr. Hier Boris 1. Feind erkannt.
Gib mir Morphium! Gib
I
mir
don't know what his game
Morphium!
plan was trying to break out with infantry like this, but it just wasn't going to happen.
Rückwärts!
Got behind here for mutual support. Tanks here to back up the infantry. Just wasn't going to happen.
Gib mir Morphium! Gib mir Morphium!
Враг в поле зрения.
My tank push
Und
coming
noch
in.
einen
'Cause
Leichensack.
I know this is a weak point right here that I can exploit, so I'm going to just start pushing through it.
Враг в поле зрения.
In my mind, I know that this city is weak just from the resistance I'm getting, so let's take a look at what it looks like from his side. What we're working with here, which I figured. Just some tow missiles and some scattered infantry, but nothing serious. At this point, he's in a position to get pincered because I have the forest. We can push him out through here. I've got the fixed point here, the center, which I'm coming in through with the infantry. Then we've got the flank here that I'm going to exploit this breakthrough right here in a sec. Got some of my artillery in now, right here. And I'm going to saturate these buildings where I'm making contact with my infantry. He has a lot of infantry, which isn't a bad thing, especially when you're dealing with a city. But one thing I had to learn, especially when I started getting back into strategy, was just really analyzing the map and the topology of the map and just the terrain. Because having a lot of infantry overloaded in the town is great, especially if someone tries to take it. But he has nothing open, looking over these flat terrain. He has no anti-tank over here. Nothing to really stop an armored push, and that's ultimately what kind of failed him. He thought about the city, but he didn't really think about the flanks. He didn't think about all this open area. And honestly, that's kind of where he came short. Because tow missiles are great, ATGMs are great, but one thing you'll learn, especially when you first start, is that beyond 2,000 meters, they're great at distance, but once you get someone who can press your tow missiles with armor within 2,000, that reload time they have, it's just not going to get the job done. It's against overwhelming numbers. So what I do here is I sneak my T-55 around, and I put him in a position here. That way he can kind of engage any reinforcements that come in from the main road. Got pretty good cover, as you can see from the road here. By the time he gets spotted, they're pretty much in range. Probably get some good side shots on enemy armor if it tries to make its way in. Best way to deal with the enemy infantry, especially in a town when they have overwhelming numbers, is to just scout them out, see where the resistance is, and then just soften them up with arty. Get them to push back. As the infantry tries to push out of the town to avoid the artillery, they get flanked by the tanks on the pincer here. So they're effectively cutting them off from retreating. Then any reinforcements that come in get hit from the right and the front. You can kind of see how this pincer is starting to work. You've got your fixed point straight down the middle here and your flanks. Did I stop already? So instead of losing my infantry to this fight here and being overwhelmed, I'm going to soften that up with artillery. We were able to displace his engineers here, and I can move up into that space. Now, I didn't know his engineers fell back, I don't believe, but I'm just sending them back out to kind of probe and see if I get any kind of resistance. And I didn't get any resistance, so I know that artillery strike was effective, and I can now push up some more infantry into the town and slowly but surely take it over. While having my IFVs in support to support the infantry on the outskirts. I had to turn down the volume a little bit and make sure people can hear me. But so now, as you can see, I sent the infantry starting to get a good lock on the town here. I'm slowly pushing them in and just going almost door to door and just slowly taking over the center area here. If you think about it, what really made all of this possible was taking control of this forest here, because now not only does he have to worry about guarding this center point, he has to worry about the threat on the flank here, which is why he was pushing for it. But now that he doesn't have that, he's pretty much lost here and losing here. Trying to mass some more IFVs on the flank here and push in. This is why I said in the beginning, you don't really want to worry about giving away too many points in the beginning, because that can really change very quickly. So never let the score get to you too much. Teammate was kind of struggling in the center here, though. He was sitting back a bit too much and not actually pushing into this point, but I think they could probably split him here. So now I just got more infantry coming in. We're going to just secure this whole town and reinforce it, and that should be game. Now that I've secured the town with infantry, I'll just slowly move up my BMPs, my T-55s, and just have a nice little front here to stop any armor pushes across this single point right here. Even though he does have better tanks, like you say, quantity has a quality of its own at times, so that was just a good setup with having a lot of T-55s at my disposal. And this is what I meant by having the ATGMs. They're great at distance, but once you close that distance and you're within like 2,000, they're not really useful because you can just overpower them. So now he tries to push with armor, and he can't because he's getting hit from 3 different points. 1, 2, 3. This is where you want to have your tow missiles. This is the kind of distance you want to use them at. There's a lot of open space, a lot of time to get your tow on target. This is where you want to have it. It's pretty much a wrap on this one.